This is going to be a handstand and its variations that we have. So we have a handstand where we kick up against the wall in a handstand, which looks like this bad boy right here. Now obviously don't just throw yourself into this if you have no idea what your overhead capabilities are. Your arms need to be really, really straight. Your chin should be tucked down. You should know where you're placing your hands. She did it where she just kind of placed her hands and went for it. You can go down where you put your hands on the ground, which looks like this, and then you kick up into it. That's another way of doing it. But the idea is basically that we're going up into a good handstand position. Not too far away from the wall, not too close. That varies depending on your arm length and just kind of who you are in general. The other version of this that we have is a wall climb. A wall climb is a good scale for this just because it gets you similarly upside down, but you can go as far as you feel comfortable. You basically do a push-up and then you walk your hands towards the wall. If you feel comfortable, you can walk all the way till your chest touches the wall, and then you can come back down from there. The other option would be to go not quite as far, so just go a little bit of the ways. So you walk your feet up just that far and then come back down. Just go as far as you feel confident and comfortable. That's an important thing there. Don't go beyond your comfort level unless you have someone around or you know that, hey, I'm pushing it and I've got all these safety pads and things are going there. The other thing that we can do, plank hold. Plank hold we can do like this. So you got your body out in a plank. You can do a plank hold on your forearms. You can do it in this push-up position. You could even do it in a pike position with your butt up in the air, kind of mimicking how you'd hold your body in a handstand with your pressing into the ground and trying to keep the body and belly nice and tucked there too. So this is another version of that we can see. Handstand and two variations. So this is a bear crawl. This is it in a very short distance. The butt stays relatively high, legs stay relatively stiff. You walk, then you can turn around. Oh, she's doing it backwards, straight gangster style. But you can also turn around and then go back. You also could bend your knees just a little bit. That's a little bit different in terms of where it hits, but both are legit. The other thing we can do is a bear march. This is in place, and we're looking to basically have opposite arm and leg leave the ground at the same time. It takes a little bit of coordination the first couple times you do it, but you'll get it. And part of that coordination is important. So taking the right arm off, left foot off, right leg off, arm off. See, it's hard to even say, but you'll figure it out. It'll be good. So this is the hanging L-sit or the hanging tuck hold as our scale for it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move my son out of the way. We're gonna hop up here. That's an invisible pull-up bar that you can't quite see in there. She's gonna hang from the pull-up bar and bring her feet out into an L and hold it there for 21 minutes, easily. Go ahead and relax. A hanging tuck hold is going to be where you do the same thing, but bring your knees in. So she's gonna pick it up and then bring her knees up. And ideally, we're looking to get basically the knee to come up above the hip angle. So it's basically either flat or just slightly higher than that. Same thing goes for the feet out. You can also do this with one leg out or knees slightly bent, or it can be, ends up even as you get more and more tired, it turns into a C hold where you're like, oh dear God, let me get it up there. But that's what we're looking for that. So this is a pull-up and the variations that you're gonna have from a pull-up. A basic pull-up, all we're looking to do is go from a hanging position to your chin up and over the bar. We can do a strict pull-up, you can do a gymnastics kip pull-up, you can do a butterfly pull-up, you can do an L pull-up. There's all kinds of different pull-ups we can do here. The other thing we can do to scale for this is a jumping pull-up. So you get something where you can jump and then lower yourself down, jump up and then come back down. If you notice the speed she came back down, it's important that we don't do too many slow lowers. So in a workout, make sure you're not resisting that too much. You come down nice and fast. The range of motion stays the same though. Her elbows stay locked out, her chin goes over the bar, and then she locks out her elbows again once she gets down to the bottom. Another scale we could do would be a banded pull-up, where you put your foot in a band here. You go there, you cross your feet, come up, and then come back down. So always make sure you're varying up what kind of scale you're using for the pull-ups. Banded is a fantastic way to go. Another scale we can do is a ring row. A ring row you can do either with 2 rings or a single ring. And the idea is that you keep your arms straight, you pull up till your chest hits the rings, then you come back down. Now to make this harder, you walk your feet to where your body is more flat. To make this easier, you walk your feet back to where you're a little bit more at an angle. So this is the hollow hold. Hollow hold is holding a hollow position. We'll show a couple scales for it, but essentially what you're gonna do is you're gonna lie on the ground flat, then you lift up your shoulders off the ground, lift up your feet off the ground, and basically look to flatten out this space that's created by your low back here. Now, to make it a little bit harder, you can lift your feet up a little higher, lift your shoulders up a little higher, and that'll basically make it so you feel like you're really engaging and holding that. A lot of people like to think about pulling their belly button to the ground. That visual never worked for me. Go ahead and relax. There's also a hollow rock where you do go to that position and then you rock back and forth, just nice and light there. The other thing you can also do is bring your knees in, so a tuck hold. So you basically put your hands at your side and kind of hold here. She sat up a little higher. Still a lot of bracing here, but not quite the same hollow position. What was another one we could do here? And then just all the way down with feet out. Hands at the sides rather than hands up overhead. So rather than hands overhead, hands at the sides, change the game a bit. And if you gotta put one leg out, and you can bend one knee or one foot on the ground, the idea is that you're trying to hold these hollow positions. Good job, Cheryl. All right, so this is our scale for a bar muscle up. It is a dumbbell push-up to a Renegade row, where you row, row. So that's it. You do a push-up, then a row, row. And you can scale this to going on your knees, whatever variation you really need to do there. We also have a jumping bar muscle up, which I'll show you as soon as I take this mic off. Yeehaw. Whenever doing a jumping bar muscle up, just make sure you watch that your head isn't gonna hit anything. Same with a normal bar muscle up, just make sure you have clearance and your head's not gonna hit anything. With the jumping, remember, once you get up there, you're high above the ground, so make sure you're doing an appropriate place and to your appropriate skill level. But basically a jumping bar muscle up looks like this. You're down in the bottom, and then you jump and pull your chin up and over the bar. And press yourself out. And then come back down. And try not to kick your son in the head. So this is a push-up and the different variations of a push-up. Basically, you're gonna look to get your body out nice and flat. Good, pretty plank here. Go all the way down to your chest touches the ground, and you press all the way back up to your elbow locks out. Rather than shortening up the range of the push-up, so don't do a half push-up, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna go to your knees. You do a push-up where you go to your knees, touch your chest to the ground, come back up. So you make it a little bit easier with where you're holding. Another thing you can do is you can elevate that. You can even go on your knees and elevate it. So go over, she'll show you on the box here. So basically go on your knees, elevate it up, go down till you touch your chest. But the same thing applies. We want the same range of motion. Chest touches the object, elbows lock out at the top. That's our push-up and some variations. This is a dumbbell Renegade row. You're out in a push-up position and you basically lift one up off the ground and row it up. The more and the flatter you can keep your body and the less hip movement you can have, the better. It helps to widen out your stance a little bit or where your feet are positioned. You can also scale this by dropping down to your knees and doing the same thing. That is our dumbbell Renegade row. So this is an inverted burpee and it's basically a ninja kip up and then stand up and then come back down. So you lie down and then kip your way back up. Now, I'm gonna have to take my mic off to do this, but I wanna show you the scales first. The scales that we can do are what's called a candlestick. This is the hardest version of the scale where you sit down, roll back, roll forward, stand up. Depending on how long your shin is and how flexy your ankle is, that might not be possible for you. In which case, you can always go down, try to get a little roll, shift to the side, stand back up. That's the first half of this movement, is the kip up. The second half of it is going to be a handstand. So you're gonna kick up to a handstand. Now, we do this against the wall, or we can do it to where we turn around and do a walk up the wall. So the scale would be sit down, go through here, come up, then turn around, walk your feet up the wall as far as you feel confident, and then come back down. And that would be your inverted burpee scale. Now, to see what that looks like not scaled, I'm gonna have to take my mic off and we'll do a little cut so you don't have to watch me do all that. So this is a negative push-up, and it's where basically you resist the down. So you go really slow down, trying to maintain all those same points you would any other way. Good, and then you press yourself back up. You can do that on your knees, and you can also do it in a ring dip. So jumping up to the top of a ring dip and slowly lowering yourself down. It's working that eccentric phase, does a little bit different kind of damage.
So this is a triple under. I'm gonna see if I can do it with this mic on, but basically you get double unders, you jump a little higher, go a little faster with the hands. So I usually start with singles, go into doubles, and then jump a little higher and throw down a triple. So once again, start with singles, doubles, doubles, and then jump a little higher, go for the third one. Pretty sure that's going around. Now if you can't do that, you can always do double under attempts, or you can try to do a triple pat on the hips. So as you're jumping, jump, singles, doubles, and then the triple is a jump, tap, 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 which is actually hard enough in and of itself. Good luck.